Here on Weekend Joe, powered by Gray Bar on Claves Online. It is an honor to be joined right now by AEW star Ricky Starks. Ricky, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. So I mentioned AEW star. Now,
Yeah,
you're still with AEW, still under contract. Okay,
correct. Yes,
So
I am.
because I know there have been questions out there, and Ricky, the
Yeah,
reason we got you on today is because about 2 weeks ago, I think you made some huge wrestling headlines when
yeah,
you showed up here in St. Louis in Glory Pro Wrestling, just
of
out of
course.
the blue, nobody expecting that. I mean, take me through. I mean, what the heck you doing here in St. Louis at Glory Pro?
Well, I can't be stuck at home for too much longer. Obviously, I go stir crazy, and I saw an opportunity with Cody Lane to come out and uh, challenge for the title, of course. And I thought it was even a better idea because I used to actually live in St. Louis, and I used to live in Melville, of all places. And so I thought it was a good way to make a return. And also, too, I've known Cody for quite a bit. He used to train here in Texas. And I said, well, why not? Why not just come back and, test the grit against somebody that I'm very much familiar with?
Cody, the holder right now of the A1 Wrestling Zero Gravity Championship, and that's going to be on the line Sunday, November 22nd, 3 p.m. at the Casa Loma Ballroom. When you with indie wrestling and coming up through all of this, I like many guys that we see on AEW, on other TV shows around. I mean, the indie wrestling scene is such a huge important thing to look back on in your career. Take me through some of the stuff. I mean, when you were coming up through in your early years with that, kind of your story, kind of your background through the indies.
Well, I started in Texas, and I had made my way to a few promotions around here, and then moved to St. Louis to try to expand that. And I ultimately ended up moving back to Texas too, just because things didn't work out how I wanted it to in terms of getting the type of notoriety that I was after. And I just really kept my head down and did the promotions in Texas. Though I was traveling to places up in Seattle, I was traveling places up in Florida. Still would come back to the Midwest actually and drive up there for St. Louis Anarchy, and I was making my way around these places, California as well. So uh, obviously, I'm very well versed in the grind of the indies. You know what I'm saying? And I know how it works. And there's some differences of today, of course, but it's still much in me that I am a hustler at heart. So I thought it'd be a great opportunity to at least come back. And with the indies now, especially in the position that I'm in, I'm doing it because I want to, right? I'm doing it because if I love the idea of it, if I love the matchup of it, I'm going to do it because I now hold that power. Whereas before I was just taking whatever. So, of course, if it benefits me and it's something that piques my interest and something that I think will be fun, I'm going to do it. If not, I'm not going to bother with it.
And from that too, I mean, nowadays, and especially, with your looking back, your AEW debut, it was a surprise. The
Yeah,
2 weeks ago, it was a
a surprise.
surprise. Today, and with the way that Twitter works these days, I mean that happens. Boom! I mean it's out there right away, and
Right.
it's making the rounds so quick that all of the different websites are, your name is back in there. You're talking about
Yeah.
being home stir crazy. I mean, within 15 minutes of you debuting, suddenly the whole internet wrestling community is talking about the fact that Ricky Starks is back in the ring.
Yeah. Uh, I think that's great.
Yeah.
Obviously, Twitter was around when I was doing the indies too. So it is so crazy to see something catch fire so quickly. And I think November 24th uh, for Glory Pro will be no different. Obviously, I think that will catch fire as well. And hopefully, a lot of people who are watching this tune in, whether you're there to make it live on the 24th or if you're able to watch streaming. All of it's appreciated, of course. So I am I'm very excited to get back in the ring and, show people.
When you get that pop, I mean, it could be a room of 300, it could be a stadium of 30,000. I mean, you get that pop when you show up, and people in that room and that down at South Broadway realize that you were you were in the ring. That's still, I mean, even in front of a crowd like that, that's still got to give you goosebumps, right?
Oh, most definitely, because you can just feel it. It's very palpable. I love the fact that it was intimate, and I love the fact that they got a surprise, and that's how it should be. You should be able to come to shows and not know what's going to happen, and have these moments that you can share with other people that were there with you live.
And you're going up against the guy, Cody Lane. I know it's he's not a name that has been on TV, but he is a guy that is very familiar
Been
to the
around.
Pro. He's familiar to the Glory Pro guys. He's familiar to I think a lot of promotions throughout the Midwest and even beyond.
Yeah.
He is one of those guys where you watch him in the ring and you have to wonder why he's not signed by a big time promotion, because
Right.
that man can wrestle.
Yeah. And I think it's all about timing. That's really what it is. Timing is a big thing. I tell people it took me 10 years to become an overnight success. So I definitely think he has that in him to weather the storm, so to speak. And I also think it's an opportunity for him to test himself against me to see where he's at. I was in that same position when I was on the indies, wrestling these guys who had gone on and did successful things. And you always want to test yourself against them and see where you're at. And I appreciate it because I'm also trying to test myself against him as well.
When you're backstage with the guys before a show, take me back there pre-show when everyone is getting ready. You have a young guy, 21, 22 years old, comes up to you. What kind of questions are those guys asking? What kind of advice is Ricky Starks giving out to the wrestlers of the future?
They're asking, hey, can you watch my match? They'll ask me, how can I make this thing better, or stuff like that. And so I'm always willing to give advice based off of my experience, of course. But if they're not doing that, I'm either bullshitting with them backstage, or you know what I'm saying. I'm just making the whole place as lighthearted as I can, because that's how it should be.
And I mean, you're going to have guys back there, that are trying to make it, that are looking up to you.
Yes.
Do you have a story of a time when you were younger, when you was a certain situation, you had a guy come backstage, a legend come backstage, a guy that you looked up to, anything like that, to where you were kind of starstruck by that?
I've never been starstruck by anybody.
Not even like, I mean, the people that you've worked with, AEW, never starstruck at all?
No, because
really?
Why be starstruck when I'm on the same level as them?
I get that, but I mean, to an extent, though. I mean,
I don't have the space to be starstruck, because to me, it's just like, yeah, we're rubbing shoulders together. John Lennon and let's say, I don't know, Jimi Hendrix. I'm sure they wouldn't be starstruck with each other. Like, hey, two badasses. So no, there's never been, and that's me being completely honest. I've never been starstruck. The only person I'd probably be starstruck by would probably be Prince, but. When it comes to professional wrestling, I'm so cool with it, man. I don't think I've ever allowed myself to even get to that point. So when people are starstruck by me, I'm go, why? We all, I put my pants on the same.
I think it's a matter of just, to some standpoint, to some aspect of it, maybe I made it, I am to this point type thing too.
Yeah, maybe that's my downfall, is that I haven't really fell into that thinking just yet. But no, I every time I've been backstage with someone that was more successful than me or whatnot, I've never looked at them as someone above me or starstruck, but I have looked at them as, this is a person that I could learn from, and pick their brain about their experience and their journey in life, and to see how it went. You know what I'm saying? So that right there is more of an opportunity than most people get, just being in those types of locker rooms.
November 24th, you will be at the Casa Loma Ballroom. Have you ever wrestled there before?
Never.
St. Louis?
No, I saw pictures and it looks great, so I'm super excited for that.
There's a balcony there. I recommend you don't make
Sold
your
it
way
out.
up there. Yeah, don't put yourself in that
No,
situation.
no,
Yeah,
no.
don't.
We're already
You know,
sold out up there. You know that.
I know, but it's like it's one of those. I feel like if somebody like a Darby Allin would make his way up there, like he'd try to jump from there
Oh,
to the
for sure.
ring or something. That
I
it,
like having my feet on the ground.
right. But yeah, front row is sold out. Balcony is damn near sold out.
Yeah,
General admission is moving fast.
very
So if
fast.
people want to watch that, they need to get onto. They need to find Glory Pro out on the socials. They need to search up Glory Pro Wrestling on Twitter. We are Glory Pro, and find out where they can get tickets. 3 p.m. start time. Ricky, for that. And I imagine you're going to be there early. You're going to
I'm
be
gonna be
there
there early
intermission. Yeah.
doing meet and greets. We got meet and greets available. So if you wanted to come out and get a picture with me, get something signed, we're gonna be doing that as well. Obviously, too, you can stream this event if you're not able to fly to St. Louis. So I really am excited for this event. It's a big deal for me personally. I take a lot of pride in it because it is my first technically big indie that I'm doing. And there's a lot on the line that I'm putting forth. So I really am excited for it, and I think it's going to be a hell of a show, especially with the talent that we have on the show as well. So I am over the moon about it.
Yeah, some of the other guys on the on there, Dan the Dad will be on the card. Danhausen is also going to be at the. You have any run-ins with Danhausen?
All the time. He tried to put a curse on me before back in 2021, and it didn't work.
Okay.
So we're good now.
Oh, that's
Alley
good.
Cat
Yeah.
is gonna be on the
Mm-hmm.
show. We have quite a few. We have a great lineup. So it's gonna be badass. Are you gonna go? I'm assuming you're gonna go.
I will be there. Yeah, I will be there for the start of that November 24th at the Casa Loma Ballroom. Ricky, very much looking forward to seeing you there, to meeting you there in person.
Let's go.
And yeah, hopefully stick around to be able to see your match against Cody Lane. Always he always puts on a good show, and I cannot imagine what you two are going to do in the ring together. Ricky, man, thank you so much for your time this afternoon.
Thank you, man. I appreciate this.